Bro, if you can wake up and you don't know what time it is and what day it is, man, you're wealthy, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, okay. And I see time, but not name the day.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another video. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on my video, and I hope you stay. I hope you go back and watch some of my videos and see what we've been up to, and I hope you stay. On this video I want to talk about this issue with podcast and chill. I feel like it's an issue. And it's an issue that has been going on for years now. Podcast and chill is the biggest podcast in Africa, and I feel like it's on the standard of podcasts that you see in the UK, in the US. It is that big, and I feel like also they have achieved a lot as a podcast, and they have achieved a lot as just the whole, especially after introducing all the other shows that are on podcast and chill, because it started off as just MacG and Shawl doing the podcast, and then they ventured now into adding more stuff and doing more shows, more genres within the network. And MacG is basically killing this thing. And a lot of people, especially mainstream media, I feel like they're angry about all of this. Sort of like a black man, whether it was a white man, maybe even if it was a white man, it would still be the same. But I feel like because he is black, people are very angry. Mainstream media doesn't like the fact that he's made such a big success of the podcast, and he's basically competing with big media and they've been trying to attack him for years. In some instances, they are not wrong, because MacG can say some very nasty things, especially about women in South Africa. But in some instances, I feel like they just, every little thing, it's like there's someone who goes through and listens and watches every single podcast and then goes through it with a fine-tooth comb to look for anything that MacG might have said that is off, that is sort of like abusive in any nature, so they can go on Twitter and put it on blast and then make him trend and then want to cancel him. They've tried to cancel MacG for so long, but the podcast just keeps growing. It doesn't take away the fact that he is wrong in many instances, because he does say some nasty things about people, about especially female celebrities, but he also bashes male celebrities, I feel like. And now the recent thing was that when Saul got suspended from Kaya FM, because it was allegedly because of that thing they said about Minnie on the podcast, where they were sort of like saying she smiles, that's why she can't keep a man, yeah, and all of that. So now they're saying that MacG is ruining Saul's life, but in actual fact, even Saul himself is not bothered by the fact that KFM suspended him, or even if they fire him, it doesn't look like he's gonna be bothered, because MacG pays him well enough and he's doing the DJing thing. Last I was watching podcasting, because I haven't watched in probably a year now. The last time I watched podcasting show, there was just some things that made me stop watching it, but I don't hate them. I feel like they're doing great. I hate the things that they say sometimes. That's one of the reasons I stopped watching. But I feel like people should stop wanting to cancel MacG. Like, it's not necessary, and they should stop trying to pin MacG and Saul apart, because those people, they are solid. They are solid in their work relationship. They are also solid in their friendship, and I think that's what makes podcast and chill works. Now, Chris Excel, as you know how dramatic he is and how controversial he is. He went on to put up a post where he says, a professional doctor in SA, a GP, who studied 7 years is earning 45k a month after working long hours. MacG is paying Saul 60k a month after tax. Wow, this is after tax. Just to sit and enjoy himself. Drink free alcohol and talk just for 2 hours a week. You all have guts to say he is ruining Saul's life. That's one thing I don't get, why people are saying that MacG is ruining Saul's life, because Saul, first of all, went into the podcast knowing the kind of person MacG is, and whenever he feels MacG is wrong when they're talking about something, he will always call him out. and sometimes they will go with him because he agrees with what he's saying or has a different perspective and say that. But I don't see how he has ruined Mitch's life. People are just trying to separate them. Basically, when a good thing is going on, people always want to dampen that. People always want to cancel that. The podcast is very good for the community, for people, because it makes people laugh. Yes, they say some nasty things that they should not say, but it's who they are. There's nothing. Basically, after all these years, people should know. You can't tell McJ and Soul what to say about anyone or anything. They say what they want because they know they can't do that. Because it is basically their channel. It is basically their podcast. They don't have a boss. McJ is the boss. So if the boss is doing it, why wouldn't everybody else be doing it? Someone went to say it's an agenda to separate Sol and McG. A black man is always targeted when he shows up in success. Yes, that is very true. And another person said instead McG sorted out Sol's life single-handedly. He pays him handsomely such that he managed to move out of Hillbrow and is now driving a fancy SUV. So the naysayers can go jump, unfortunately. So having said that, I don't think Meg is ever gonna ruin Sol's life because not only does he pay him well, they get along and they're doing a good thing, and Sol actually enjoys himself because no one is holding a gun on his head. Sol would have left the podcast when he got the Kaya job if he didn't like what Meg was saying or what they're doing together. So people should just try and stop trying to pin them against each other, trying to cancel the podcast because I don't think at this point it's ever gonna happen. Even with the 2 million that Mini is showing them with, it's not gonna do much. It's not gonna change much. Maybe he's gonna continue being the person that he is. He's gonna continue saying the things that he says on the podcast. It's not gonna change, I believe. I'm not watching anymore, but I still believe 100% that with the clips that I've seen online in the past year, they're still gonna continue the way that they are. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one.